In a world where rankings reign supreme, and the pursuit of being number one consumes all, Hiroto stands before the school on the Academy Island, assuming the role of the new Academy's representative. As a member of the elite few possessing the 7-star status, he exudes an air of arrogance, boldly proclaiming his superiority over all others. With utmost confidence, he challenges his fellow students, daring them to prove their worth by facing him head-on. But as he concludes his speech, a wave of panic washes over Hiroto backstage, for that it was all a facade. As he checks his social media, he is confronted with a barrage of new messages labeling him as a loser. Several hours earlier, Hiroto finds himself disoriented and searching for his academy. Spotting a captivating girl passing by, he calls out to her for assistance. He reveals that he is a newly arrived transfer student who arrived just the day before and is currently lost. Sympathetic to his predicament, Sarasa kindly points out the location of the academy on the map. Sensing his unfamiliarity, since he skipped the tutorial, she explains that by utilizing his device, he can access the names and relevant information of individuals, but only if they hold a lower rank than him. The player's rank is determined by the accumulation of stars, acquired through playing in competitive matches against one another. Among all the ranks, the coveted status of 7 stars stands as the pinnacle of prestige on the island. The device also has its own social media app, called Stock, which students use to communicate. She also shows him the Game Request app, to play competitive matches. Since Hiroto's a newcomer, Sarasa offers to show him the way to his academy for the orientation. Sudden realization dawns upon Sarasa. Her own orientation is about to commence. Just as she bids Hiroto a farewell, the nearby sprinkler malfunctions, unexpectedly dousing Sarasa with a cascade of water. Sarasa's emotions stir, suspicion washing over her, wondering if Hiroto had deliberately planned the sprinkler incident. Despite his attempts to deny any intent, Sarasa finds the unfolding events too peculiar to dismiss. She firmly points out that Hiroto couldn't possibly be oblivious to everything, accusing him of leading her on all this time. Although he tries to explain himself, Sarasa cuts him off, convinced that he orchestrated the situation to embarrass her. Sarasa insists that he set up a game between them, emphasizing that the request must originate from a lower-ranked player. Complying with her, Hiroto sends her a game request, but overlooks the need to specify the details, unaware that the lower-ranked player should choose the game to ensure fairness. Sarasa interprets this oversight as an insult, perceiving Hiroto's actions as a mockery, implying he can triumph over her in any game she selects. However, the truth is far from that assumption. Hiroto simply has no idea what he's doing. Sarasa initiates a game, a turn-based staring contest on hard mode. In this game, the objective is to avoid showing any reaction, as the one who does, will lose. Taking turns, they can show any facial expression they want, in an attempt to elicit a reaction from the other. Hiroto eagerly awaits the start of the game, while Sarasa expresses surprise that he hasn't even selected an ability yet. She explains that an ability can significantly impact the outcome of the game. This causes Sarasa to question whether Hiroto is even taking her seriously. With Hiroto granted 1 minute to elicit a reaction from Sarasa, she promptly uses one of her abilities to reduce his time to a mere 10 seconds. This unexpected turn surprises Hiroto, and his turn concludes before he even has a chance to blink. It is now Sarasa's turn, and she utilizes another ability, summoning a sword and wielding it as a means to attack Hiroto, aiming to provoke any form of reaction from him. Amidst the game, Sarasa feels relieved that her wet clothes are gradually drying, sparing her from attending the orientation in a soaked state. However, fate has other plans as once again, the sprinkler malfunctions, drenching Sarasa in water. At the same time, Hiroto's turn starts once again. Sarasa reveals that she was meant to give a speech as the academy representative, but she thinks about doing it while soaking wet, and feeling the stares of the bystanders, making Sarasa embarrassed, and losing her the game. As a result, the star ownership is transferred from Sarasa to Hiroto, making the bystanders surprised that the Empress lost. At this moment, a butler approaches Hiroto, letting him know that the headmistress wishes to see him. The headmistress, Natsum, notes that he has created quite the mess with his win over Sarasa. The game he played with Sarasa was not a normal game. It turns out that Sarasa is the only 7-star on the island. She achieved the highest entrance exam score ever, not losing a single game since her enrollment. What more, her grandfather Masamune is the founder of Academy Island, and currently the head director of the island, making her the VIP of the VIPs. That's who Hiroto beat, an unimportant guy like him, a commoner, an NPC, barely making it into the academy. Natsum explains that Masamune will do anything to protect his family's name, so there is one way to redeem this situation: she will make Hiroto into a 7-star. Since Masamune wouldn't be as upset if he learned that Sarasa was defeated by someone on her level. Natsume tells Hiroto to check his device. The star he stole from Sarasa is red. Only 10 or 15 special stars like this one have been confirmed on the island. It has a special effect. The red star allows Hiroto to tell one lie about anything, so the plan Natsume has come up with is that Hiroto will sell a lie about being a fake 7-star on his very first day. Natsume asks him the reason for coming to this island, and Hiroto reveals that his goal is to find someone, so he has to accept Natsume's plan, become the strongest player. Immediately following Hiroto's speech, Natsume congratulates him on a job well done in performing that psychological scam, separating his inner feelings and outward expression. Natsume gives him coordinates to his new dorm and sends him on his way. On his way there, Sarasa pulls him into an alley, driven by her belief that he intends to expose her secret after basking in the spotlight of his recent speech. Pleading for his mercy, she implores him to spare her, promising to fulfill any request he may have if he refrains from revealing her secret. However, unbeknownst to Sarasa, Hiroto remains utterly clueless about the matter at hand. She is sure that he knows that she isn't the real Sarasa. Due to the red star he obtained from her, she has assumed Sarasa's identity, and acted as her doppelganger at the academy for the past year, revealing her true name as Rina. In a curious twist, whoever acquires the red star gains the ability to tell one lie, with the next recipient of the star discovering what that lie is. Hiroto explains that he actually had no idea about her being a double. He really came to the island just yesterday, and he still can't even use the device right. He reveals that his true rank is 1, and he is using the red star to say he's a 7-star, leaving Sarasa dumbfounded. He isn't the strongest on the island. He won the game by accident, and he didn't know her secret, meaning that she did this to herself. Acute realization also comes to Hiroto. Since she is a double, she isn't really Masamune's granddaughter, so there was really no reason for him to become a 7-star in the first place. Finally finding the dorm, more like a mansion, Hiroto is greeted by a maid, who calls him master. She is beautiful. Startled by Hiroto's sudden appearance, the girl swiftly composes herself and introduces herself as Shirayuki. She reveals that she attends the same academy as Sarasa in District 3, and per Natsume's instructions, she will serve as his live-in assistant from this day forward. Although Hiroto hadn't anticipated living with a girl, they both acknowledge that the true culprit behind their current situation is none other than Headmaster Natsume. Recognizing their shared predicament, Hiroto advises Shirayuki not to place him on a pedestal, and encourages her to behave more naturally around him, to which she readily agrees. To Hiroto's amazement, Shirayuki prepares a delightful dinner, leaving him in awe of the generous portions and delectable taste. His genuine surprise causes Shirayuki to blush, adding a touch of charm to the moment. Later, Shirayuki explains that the mansion prevents unauthorized access once it is offline. Since he used Red Star to become a fake 7-star, he's basically a scam artist. If a word gets out, his life is over. On the Academy Island, apart from District 0, each district houses a single academy, amounting to a total of 20 academies. Every year, these academies undergo ranking evaluations, with each rank bestowing a range of benefits. The ranking is heavily influenced by the students, particularly those with stars, as their contributions hold significant weight. Those possessing 5 or more stars are regarded as advanced students. Furthermore, if an academy boasts a student with a 7-star status, it is almost guaranteed to secure a top position in the rankings. However, a daunting challenge lies ahead for Hiroto. Realistically speaking, he possesses a mere 1-star rank. The rank reflects on his abilities. Engaging in battles against other players will feel the same as fighting a boss as a level 1 player. This is where Shirayuki steps in, as she and her team are committed to providing Hiroto with unwavering support for the next 2 years. Their assistance extends beyond just winning games. It encompasses various aspects of his daily life as well. Shirayuki proceeds to explain a valuable strategy to Hiroto. By checking his game icon, he can view all the game requests he has received. She advises him to accept a game request scheduled for the following morning, boldly silencing those who still harbor doubts about his abilities. This particular game will serve as a tutorial, showcasing the effectiveness of their assistance. However, the plan involves winning through cheating. Shirayuki hands Hiroto an earpiece, where one of her team members informs him that she will hack into the opponent's device, granting them control to manipulate the game in their favor. Undoubtedly, such actions go against the rules, but Hiroto is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his ultimate goal and deceive everyone around him. The following morning, Hiroto effortlessly overwhelms his opponent in the game. Finding solace in an alley, he exhales a relieved sigh, pleasantly surprised at how easily he emerged victorious. Grateful for the exceptional support provided by his team, he expresses his gratitude to them before swiftly making his way to campus. On his way to class, he meets his class president Fuka and classmate Yuki. Hiroto's enrollment has garnered such attention that the class even held a tournament to determine who would have the privilege of showing him around. Just as Fuka and Yuki begin to delve deeper into the competitive nature of their academy, Shirayuki calls, telling him about a very favorable game request. The game is a main event hosted by the Libra group that manages news app LNN, the streaming app iTube, as well as arranges large game events. Hiroto's opponent for this particular contest is Haru, holding a respectable 3-star rank. Adding to the excitement, Sarasa is today's special guest, and will provide insightful commentary throughout the game. Haru selects the game of Anything Goes, 100 meters race, where no rules are imposed from start to finish. Confident in her impending victory, Urasaka exudes an air of self-assurance. However, Hiroto mirrors her conviction, boldly proclaiming that he won't suffer defeat in any game presented to him. Urasaka snaps her fingers, revealing her astonishingly equipped bike with a turbo boost. Despite the flashy display, Hiroto remains unfazed, outwardly that is. He is determined to beat her on foot. Before the race begins, Haru notes that whatever he has planned won't work, since her ability to nullify interference is active. However, Hiroto displays an eagerness to begin, seemingly mocking Haru's warning. As the race initiates, it initially appears as though it will conclude in the blink of an eye, yet with just a single step from Hiroto, Haru is unexpectedly sent hurtling through the air, eventually landing safely on a cushioned surface. In an arrogant manner, Hiroto proclaims that the victory is far too easy. Shirayuki's pre-match strategy involved equipping Hiroto with complete disable level 1 inch in all 3 slots, effectively neutralizing Haru's defensive ability. The remainder of the plan relied on the skillful efforts of their team of hackers. To the public, Hiroto boldly announces that he utilized complete disable level 7 inches, followed by force stop. Additionally, he implemented a safety device to ensure Haru's well-being, preventing any harm. In this manner, Hiroto emerges triumphant in the game with effortless ease, literally. Following the conclusion of the game, Rina rushes over to Hiroto, expressing a mix of sadness at not witnessing his humiliation, yet relief that he didn't suffer defeat. She asserts that the only person that is allowed to defeat Hiroto is herself. However, this proclamation serves as a mere pretense for Rina to discreetly pass him a note, urgently requesting a meeting. Prior to their encounter, Hiroto asks Shirayuki to temporarily cease monitoring him, and promptly meets up with Rina at a secluded cafe. Curiosity piqued, Hiroto inquires about Rina's secret. She reveals that the real Sarasa was kidnapped over a year ago, with the perpetrator making no demands. As a close friend of Sarasa, Rina was tasked with assuming her identity to gauge the kidnapper's next move. She discloses that children from the Seonji family rarely venture outside until high school, with friends and teachers specially assigned to them. Consequently, very few individuals are familiar with the real Sarasa's appearance. Rina seamlessly assumed Sarasa's place, aided by the lack of familiarity with the true Sarasa's face. Uncertain about the real Sarasa's eventual return, Rina is determined to safeguard Sarasa's reputation until then. She emphasizes that if Hiroto were to lose his Red Star, all the past lies told by previous Red Star holders would be exposed, underscoring the importance of his continued success. Hiroto elaborates on the importance of safeguarding both of their secrets, revealing to Rina his quest to locate his childhood friend, who he believes is somewhere on the island. In order to accomplish this, and avoid being expelled from the island, he must maintain the facade of being the strongest. Recognizing the alignment of their goals, Hiroto and Rina forge an alliance, pledging to stay in communication, and exchange their IDs for future contact. The following day, as they arrive on campus, they assume the roles of enemies in the eyes of those around them. However, their charade is disrupted when an eerie laughter captures their attention, causing them to shift their focus towards its source. The man jumps down, introducing himself as Kojisaki, and he addresses Sursa as his goddess. He challenges Hiroto to a game, wanting to see what he's truly made of, and Hiroto agrees to accept on the condition that the loser can never bother Sursa again. Kojisaki doesn't like the bet, but Hiroto calls him a chicken. Kojisaki says he isn't afraid of anything, as he reveals he is more than just a 5-star student, but also the leader of the Holy Knight Brigade, so agrees to the condition, setting the game to take place in 2 days' time. The next day, we see Hiroto and Rina meeting while in disguise. Rina thanks him for standing up for her, but he says he was just protecting his own lie. Rina reminds him that their lies are now linked, so they head back to Hiroto's house for a strategy meeting. Yuki greets them, but Rina is surprised to see her. We learn that Yuki actually used to serve her, and she's one of the few people that know her secret. Yuki goes on to explain the game that Kujisaki has proposed. It's a game where you collect cards and compete for numbers. There are 2 phases to the game. The first phase is collection, where players must search for cards numbered from 0 to 19 that are scattered around the district. 5 cards will be placed randomly at the start, and then after every 5 minutes, a new card location is revealed. At the end of the phase, players select 5 of their cards to form a hand. The second phase is the reveal, where players compare cards one by one, and the higher number wins. Yuki also notes that in the history of the game, there has never been a record of someone with 1 star winning the game. Hiroto wonders how that can be possible, and Rina reminds him of the ability she used to reduce his time in their game. It allowed her to manipulate numerical values in a game, and she says that even if he got the number 19, Kujisaki could use the ability to make his number worth 30, so Yuki estimates that he has less than a 1% chance of winning. Hiroto thinks Yuki must have a way to help him win, and she reveals the trick to winning is during the collection phase. If they can obstruct his movements to buy time, and make a hand that will win even if after the numerical adjustment ability, then Hiroto has a chance. Rina notes that Kujisaki always uses the emergency mobilization ability, which allows him to summon another player to help him, and they are also able to contribute 1 ability. So when all the summon players all use the same ability, Kujisaki is able to summon his army of 300 simps from his Holy Knight Brigade. They also know that for his third ability, Kujisaki has an indigo star, which gives him the Black Wings ability, that Rina mentions he always likes to use. The game begins the next day, and thanks to using the luck ability, Hiroto starts near 2 of the higher numbers. He plans his route, planning to grab the 14 first. As he runs, he notes that the 17 is quite far away, but Yuki tells him the company has hacked a bus to help him get there. They receive a notification that Kujisaki has picked up his first card, but Hiroto finds it strange because the cards being displayed haven't changed. Yuki thinks he must have found a card that was yet to be revealed, meaning he's using a different ability from what they predicted. Hiroto realizes that instead of using the numerical manipulation ability, Kujisaki plans to collect all of the cards instead. At that moment, Kujisaki interrupts his call, revealing his Black Wings ability allows him to transmit his voice from far away, and claims he has already won. After 5 minutes into the game, the next card location is meant to be revealed, but nothing appears, because it was the mystery card that Kujisaki already picked up. Hiroto realizes Kujisaki planned to find all the cards before they're revealed, planning to collect 18 out of the 20 cards, and secure his victory during the collection phase. As Hiroto rushes to his card, Yuki notes that their bus was stopped by Kujisaki's army. Yuki starts to lose hope, but Hiroto refuses to give up. He manages to get number 14, but he wonders how he'll be able to make it to 17 before Kujisaki gets to it. At that moment, Haru suddenly appears, saying Natsumi helped her get a permit, so she's allowed to give him a ride. Hiroto looks for the 17, and Yuki tells him it's on the 3rd floor. He ends up finding it, but it's in the middle of the air. He manages to stretch out and grab it, but he ends up falling down, barely managing to survive. Meanwhile, we see Kujisaki has collected most of the other cards, so things are looking bad for Hiroto. Hiroto thinks he needs to get 1 more card, but Rina suddenly appears, saying he needs to get medical attention, but Hiroto thinks about his childhood friend, refusing to give up, and he wants to protect Rina as well. As he tries to leave, Rina reveals she lied about Sursa. She lied about her being kidnapped, because in reality, she just wanted to experience a normal life, so Rina only made it look like she was kidnapped. She tells him that to just give up, saying she will take the blame for everything, but knowing she's doing it all for the sake of her friend, he calls her his type, telling her to keep up her act for a little longer. Yuki arrives, worried about him, and she mentions Kujisaki has already collected the other 18 cards, so it looks like it's all over for Hiroto, but he still doesn't give up, thinking of a way to turn the tables. Hiroto asks if there's an ability that allows you to change the rules of a game. Yuki mentions the rule breaker ability, but says it's only available to students that are 6 stars or above. Hiroto gets an idea, saying the important thing is that it exists. They arrive at the arena for the reveal phase, and Kujisaki thinks he's already won since Hiroto doesn't have enough cards to win 3 rounds. Kujisaki tells him to just give up, so Hiroto discards his card, admitting defeat. The announcer is about to call the game, but Hiroto suddenly stops her. He asks Kujisaki about the condition to end the game, which is if both players run out of cards, then the game will end. Hiroto tells him to read the rules closer, and using his screen glitch ability, The rules now say that if either player runs out of cards, the game will end. Kujisaki thinks Hiroto must have used the rule breaker ability to change the rules, and since he no longer has any cards, the reveal phase is over, and they draw with 0 points each, essentially restarting the game. Kujisaki discards his hand, but reminds Hiroto he still doesn't stand a chance against his army of simps. However, Hiroto declares his victory, as he reveals he only discarded 1 card. Kujisaki thinks it doesn't matter, because the game would still be a draw based on the rules, but Hiroto reveals he didn't actually change the rules. He plays his card, and since Kujisaki no longer has any cards, Hiroto is declared the winner. After the game, Hiroto gets treated for his injury, and Rina comes to visit him. She thinks he has been hiding his real abilities, admitting she wouldn't have been able to win if she were in the same position. She wonders what he meant when he called her his type, but Hiroto is suddenly on the phone. He wonders what she was saying, making her embarrassed, but she is glad everything worked out. Hiroto says it was a piece of cake, calling himself the strongest 7-star student, but Rina calls him the biggest liar. Yuki meets up with Natsumi, who asks her about Hiroto's rank. Yuki thinks he is still at 1 star, because he can't gain new stars as a fake 7-star student, but Natsumi tells her she's wrong, revealing he's already at 2 stars. She explains that when a unique star holder is defeated, the star is always taken away, so when Hiroto defeated Kujisaki, he was able to acquire the indigo star. She thinks that Hiroto could become an all-color 7-star student by defeating more unique star holders, saying he demonstrated his skills in the last game. Natsumi states that Hiroto will face greater danger if he keeps gaining unique stars, but Yuki tells her not to worry, because she will stay by her master's side. Yuki transfers to their academy, and the teacher informs everyone about the all-campus elimination battle. She explains that during the event, the students can participate in mock games, where they can challenge anyone regardless of rank, and stars will not be exchanged. However, if they are defeated, they will be eliminated from the event, saying the last man standing will be crowned as the winner. She explains that the event will determine who will be representing their academy in the upcoming contest between academies, saying the top 5 players will be chosen, so she wants everyone to do their best. During their break, Yuki warns Hiroto that he will be at a disadvantage during the event, because he is a 7-star student, so everyone will want to challenge him. She explains that a challenger can simply approach a student and issue a challenge, which will automatically be accepted. This will place the participants in a state of conflict, where no student can issue a challenge to either of them, until a winner is decided, but if the state of conflict continues for 24 hours without a game taking place, they will be eliminated. Yuki tells him that he must not lose, because he needs to keep his spot as the strongest player, so she advises him to stay away from other players during the event. A third-year student named Noah suddenly approaches them, and Hiroto asks her what she wants. She asks them if they're dating, and they deny this, so she clings to Hiroto, telling him it's his chance to snuggle with her. Hiroto tells her to get to the point, so she tells him about the elimination battle predicted rankings, where she is close to the top, but Hiroto has the number 1 spot. Hiroto doesn't seem to care, and she bids him farewell, thanking him for spending time with her. Yuki warns him to be wary of her, because she's one of the 3 6-star students in the academy, and Yuki even gets a bad feeling when she's around her. Hiroto goes to Natsumi's office, where she tells Hiroto that they are currently faced with 2 issues. The first issue is that there are outside forces getting involved in the upcoming event, and they seem to be after Hiroto, since he's the 7-star student. While the second issue has something to do with the unique stars, as she explains that each academy has one, but the unique star in their possession, the green star, has been stolen. They were planning to use it as the prize for the event, and she reveals that the green star has the power to affect perception, so she doesn't know what the thief could do with it. Natsumi doesn't know if the 2 issues are connected, but she thinks it's possible that they were done by the same person, and she asks for Hiroto's help to root out the culprit, thinking he's going to be targeted during the event. She wants him to stay alive during the contest, so that he can expose the culprit and recover the green star. Natsum also wants him to score a decisive victory, so that he can keep his position as the strongest on Academy Island. During the first day of the event, Hiroto and Yuki realize that he is being targeted by everyone, so they go into hiding, as Yuki thinks about disabling their ability to track his location, and blocking their challenge requests with some basic jamming. Later that day, Hiroto receives a message from Noah, thinking that their jamming didn't work. A girl challenges him to play with her, as Hiroto wonders if Noah is targeting him directly. Hiroto accepts the challenge, and he ends up winning the game. Hiroto tells Yuki that he is worried about Noah, thinking he'll have to face her at the end of the event. Yuki agrees with him, saying they won't be able to avoid her, so she calls for Kagaya, who tells Hiroto that he's going to have a hard time running away with the programs they have, so she wrote a new device ability. She overlapped Hiroto's location with Yuki's, so that she will receive the challenges instead of him. The next day, Yuki defeats a player who is after Hiroto, as he runs and hides from the other students. While hiding, he receives a call from Yuki, telling him that they're in trouble, because 200 students are making their way to his location. Hiroto tries to escape from them, but he suddenly bumps into Noa, and he falls on top of her, as Kaguya wonders why she's there, because there was no signal a second ago. Yuki catches up to Hiroto, as Noa clings to him, stopping him from running away. The other students are closing in, so Yuki sends Hiroto a challenge request, preventing them from challenging him. Noa is disappointed because they were able to escape, but she tells Hiroto that she was able to achieve her number one goal. Hiroto wonders what she meant, but she plays dumb, and she starts running away. They return to the mansion, where Yuki prepares a cutlet for Hiroto, but she realizes that they have no sauce, so she leaves for the store to buy it. Hiroto waits for her to return, but after an hour, he receives a call from Yuki's number. He answers the call, and he hears Noa's voice, telling him that she bumped into his maid. She gives the phone to Yuki, who tells him that she won't be able to return home. Hiroto wonders if Noa did something to her, but Yuki tells him that she can't answer that question, and she reminds him that they're in a state of conflict, telling him that he shouldn't try to win during their game tomorrow. Noa assures him that she didn't do anything to Yuki, and she ends the call. Hiroto tells Rina about the situation, so she becomes upset, saying she won't forgive Noa for kidnapping Yuki. Hiroto thinks there might be someone else involved, and Rina wonders how they can win without Yuki's help. At that moment, Kaguya joins them, and Hiroto informs her about the situation, saying they need to come up with a way to save Yuki. But that's where the video ends. I will be doing more parts, so make sure to subscribe to not miss them. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.